Hello everybody, welcome back to the BakesByRobbie YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. Today we're going to be doing another one of my favourite recipes, and this is going to be part of a new series where I'm going to go back to all my classic recipes. So what we're going to be doing is going to be baking my favourite chocolate brownie recipe, but we're going to be making my caramel fudge version. So you've got bits of fudge in there and a caramel topping. So I'll show you how to do it all, and you can customise it to whatever toppings you want. So let's get going. So first, in a bowl, we're going to want to melt together our chocolate and our butter. So in a bowl, I'm going to get in 200... spatula. In a bowl, we're going to get in 190 grams of butter, okay? And then we're going to also add the same amount, 190 grams of dark chocolate. And this, you try and use like a good quality dark chocolate so you get a nice rich brownie. So I'm using chocolate chip, but you can use wet, broken up chocolate as well. I'm just going to move over to my bowl a minute. And you're just going to want to place a large can of water on the heat, okay? Like so. And you want to bring that to a simmer, and you want to melt the dark chocolate chips and the butter over a medium heat, so over a bain-marie, and then we'll just get a nice smooth ganache at the end, which we can add to our mixture in a second, alright? So we're going to leave that melting down a minute, just melting on the chocolate and the butter together until we got a smooth sort of ganache, which we'll add to our rest of our brownie batter, okay? So what we're going to do next, you can either do this in a bowl with a hand mix, or even just by hand is perfect. But I'm going to use my stand mixer. So what we're going to do, I want to get 3 eggs, 3 sort of medium eggs, okay? Just crack them into the bowl. Look. Do you see that? It's over me. Hang on, give me a second. I just got egg on my face. Okay, third egg in. Just to add to our 3 eggs, we're going to add in 250 grams of caster sugar. Alright, so we'll pour that, then get it in the bowl, it's preferable. Anyway, so then we're going to just whisk these up. Help if you put the whisk on. So again, we're going to whisk these up on sort of a medium speed until they're all combined and they're starting to go a bit frothy, okay? We're going to mix these up. Alright, there we go, that's perfect. So they've gone lighter in colour and they're a little bit aerated now, but they're all combined and all as one, okay? And we're going to go back to our chocolate mixture, which means continue stirring to make sure it's all melted together, alright? Alright, as we can see now, it's nearly there. Just a few little lumps, so just make sure they're all melted through. And that should be perfect. So we're going to turn off the heat there. So what we're going to do is going to pour this butter and chocolate mix. So we turn it and pour that into a jug, and that will just make it pouring back. It's still a few lumps now, which is fine because they'll melt through because this mixture is still really hot. So we got our chocolate, our smooth butter and chocolate mixture. We're gonna leave that to settle just so it's not super hot because it's just come off the hob, so it's sort of room temperature-ish, and that just avoids us accidentally scrambling our eggs. So we're gonna just leave that a second. Okay, so this is just settled now, the temperature, it's not really hot now. What I want to do is we're going to get our mixer and we're going to put it on a really low speed, and we're going to slowly pour in this butter and chocolate mixture. So we're going to put it on the lower speed, and we're going to just slowly pour this mixture in. Like that, look at that. Turn that off, so now we've got our eggs, sugar and our butter and chocolate all combined. So look at this now, we've got one smooth sort of mixture. And now, finally, we're going to add in our flour, okay? But it's not too much flour, because it's a brownie. We don't really have too much flour in it, but it's 120 grams of plain flour, all right? And we're going to sift that in just to avoid any lumps, because we're folding this through, we want to make sure it's nice and smooth, all right? So we're going to just sift that in. Perfect. With a big spatula, I'm just going to fold this through so we've got a nice smooth batter, all right? There we go, perfect. So now we've got this beautiful smooth brownie batter, which looks glorious. I'd happily just tuck into this roll, but we'll bake it for now. So you can use any size little brownie tin, but this isn't quite a small batch compared to what I usually make. So this is just a little batch, but you can use any if it's a square tin or if it's a bit bigger, you just have slightly thinner or thicker brownies, so it'll be absolutely fine. So I'm gonna pour this in. I've greased this with a bit of butter, and then I put one piece of grease-free paper over one side, just to help lift it out. But I'm gonna pour this in. Now, don't tell me that doesn't look lovely, come on. And now we're just gonna add a few little additions just to our brownie batter before it bakes. I'm gonna add, I will put measurements below, but I'm gonna add, I usually just add one big handful of chocolate chips and just sprinkle them on top, like that. And then what I like to do is I'm gonna add in 125 grams of just fudge you buy from the supermarket, Dairy Fudge. So 125 grams, you can add as much as you like, but this is just to make our brownies nice and fudgy, and they have little chunks of fudge within them, which is just lush. So I'm gonna save 3 of them for decorating on top. So that's about 100 grams now going into the brownie batter itself. So I'm just gonna unwrap these and then just chop them up to small pieces. Just gonna chop these up in half and in half again. Just gonna place these little chunks all over the brownies themselves, all right? Just like that, look at that, that looks pretty nice. And now finally, to finish it off, also on my YouTube channel, I've got a recipe for my salted caramel sauce, which is just gonna be linked up here, somewhere around here. And what I'm gonna do is I've made a half batch of what the quantities are on that video. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drizzle half of that now onto my brownies here and ripple that through. And then I'm gonna use the other half of what I made for the decorating. So I'm just gonna grab that out of the fridge. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna place a few little blobs of that on top, like so. As I said, I've made a half batch, but I'm going to use a half of the half batch now, and the other half of a half batch to decorate. So just like that. Perfect. Place that on the side, and with my knife, I'm just going to slowly ripple that through, like that. So you've got bits of caramel, bits of fudge, and bits of chocolate as well. That doesn't look half bad. Finally, I'm going to put that into the oven, and these need to bake about 170 degrees fan for 20 to 25 minutes. And what we're looking for is the middle still, if you poke a skew in the middle, it's still going to come out quite raw, but that's what we want. But if you shake the tin slightly, it shouldn't like jiggle or shake in any way. It should be completely set on the top. And what I like to do, a little trick, is if you get a knife or a skewer and just test it about 1 inch in from the edge, it should come out clean there. And that's when you know the middle of the brownies is all done and cooked as well. All right, so let's get these in the oven. So I've just turned out the oven. They took about just about 25-ish minutes, and they're all cooked. As I said, when they come out the oven, they're still going to be quite gooey in the centre, but that's perfect because the tin's still hot. They're going to set, and we'll still have nice gooey brownies that are properly cooked. So that's all fine. What I'm going to do to decorate, I made a half batch of my caramel. I used half of that half batch to ripple in the brownies before they baked, and I'm going to decorate with the other half of the half batch. I hope you're getting this. I'm going to put the rest in a piping bag. I'm going to drizzle that over the top. Now, don't tell me that don't look delicious. And also, I've got another handful of chocolate chips. All the measurements will be in the description below, but I just use roughly a handful. Good. Just to top them off. Like that. Perfect. And finally, the 25 grams of fudge that I didn't put in, I've just chopped it up into very small little crumbs. I'm just going to chop that on top of the brownies as well. Try and make sure it's all even. And there we go. That is my complete caramel fudge brownies now to fully set and cool down, and then we can chop them up into pieces and enjoy and share, or not share if you want to eat them all yourself. But yeah, so there they are, complete caramel brownies with fudge pieces inside, drizzled in caramel sauce, more fudge pieces and chocolate chips. Thank you so much for following my recipe if you did and watching my video. Please do tag me if you do use my recipe. My Instagram is BakesByRobbie, somewhere down here. And yeah, please subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to hear about my new videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again.